So why did you want to do this movie?
Because I believe in the message. I believe in what Louis said with his life and what Laura tried to put out in the book. I think we all need to be reminded of the strength of the human spirit and what is in each of us. And I think that's what Louis said to me, don't make this film to show how extraordinary I am. Make this film to remind everybody that they have greatness in them, everybody. And certainly it can come out in different ways, but it's how we face an obstacle. It's how we hold our head up. It's the decision to get back up. It's it's finding something greater than ourselves to commit ourselves to in life. So these are important things, and I think we have many difficult things happening in the world today. It's a lot to be broken about, and so it is really nice to be reminded of those things that can pull us through.
Did you think about your kids, sending this message?
Of course, yes. No, my kids are very aware of they of course knew Louis, unfortunately, and spent time with him, and but I would tell them all the chapters in the book, and it's why we worked so hard to make the film PG-13. We wanted young teenage boys and girls to be able to sit in something that is, yes, it's a great adventure, but it also teaches you something about life and something inside of you and something that's good for young people, because he is so relatable, but he is extraordinary, and he's a good man. So yes, no, my children, and I often talk to my children about Pete, the brother, of course, who, I think it's hard to find a greater example of a brother than Pete, because Louis says that if it wasn't for him, he would have been in prison. We wouldn't be here. There would be no Unbroken if it wasn't for a brother that looked at his little brother and said, "You're worth something," and even if you don't believe in you, I do.
And have they seen the film already?
Louis saw the film in the hospital before he passed, and his family, his family's seen the film, and Phil's daughter saw the film, and yeah.
What about your family?
Oh, my children.
Yes.
My boys have seen a not finished version, and I was very excited because they didn't move. When you watch in the theater, you watch, as a director, you're just watching to see if the heads are moving and if people are eating their popcorn, or if they're still. And the film was much longer when my kids saw it, in fact, and they were completely still and they didn't go to the bathroom, so I was very happy.
And you're focusing on directing now. What do you think makes you happier as a director than as an actor? I don't know.
When you direct a film, you are so involved in every single aspect of it, and it's a different kind of commitment, of course. As an actress, you can be in a film for a few weeks. As a director, you're committed to this particular story for years of your life, and you have to be so passionate about every aspect of it. I had to care equally about the message as I did about the sharks and the way the shark looked and his teeth and all of these things. So you have to love it, and you have to give yourself in a way that's very different, and you get the pleasure of working with the crew. As an actor, you're a little more on your own, and as a director, you're in the trenches with the team, and I much prefer being a part of the family than the one in front of the camera.
And you directed another film already, but it's very different. It seems very different.
It's very different, yes.
So, which were the reasons behind that?
It was something I wrote a few years ago, and it was a look at the question of when you're at a certain stage in your life, and it's about marriage and people who can often take out their own pain on each other and not see themselves. So it's about grief, but it's the 70s, so it's a bit different. I think I wanted to work with Brad. We work so often, but when you work together, you share something very different, and it had been almost 10 years. And I wanted to play as an artist. I wanted to not be confined by a traditional film with traditional rules and traditional character. I wanted to do something, bold and dramatic and see how far I could push myself and how far Brad and I could go together.